Hi everyone, welcome back to the Fielding English channel. I'm here with my husband Eric. For
Hey.
those who don't know me,
Hi, everybody. So I'm Eric, and I'm a lifelong English speaker, and I'm from the United States. And now we are here together living in Florida.
I am Maria Fielding. I'm from Brazil. I have been living in the United States since 2016, and I didn't know English before that, right? So
That's right, but now you're definitely fluent.
So today we are going to be talking about how the ways to ask how are you in English and also ways to answer how are you in English. Let's start with the first one.
Okay, so if we're talking informally, we can say things like, "What's up?"
Oh yeah, I actually like that. And when we use like what's up, because we also have the app, right? That is called
WhatsApp. Yes.
Yeah, so what's up? And then it's up, what's up?
Yeah, what's up? So I use what's up sometimes.
Another way to ask how are you in English would be how's it going? How's it going?
Yeah.
Now, would you have a more informal way? How would people say how's going? How's going, right? Instead
Well,
of saying the eat, would be how's going?
I probably wouldn't say that, but maybe some people would. But it's definitely casual. What's up? How's it going? How you doing? Now, for how you doing, people would say how you doing, and they would cut off the G.
Oh, and how about you don't also say the R, right? How are you doing? You just say how you doing? How
Yeah,
you
how
doing?
you doing? Yeah.
Yeah, so how doing? The next one would be what's new? What's
Mhm.
new? I like that actually.
Yeah, I think what's new kind of works with something else that you add in front of it. You might say, "Hey, what's new?" or "Hi, what's new?" So you sort of would have like an opening, but what's new is good. Um, how's everything? Someone could say, but I think that seems a little bit more
How's
formal.
everything? Actually, I do that at work. So how's everything? I use that. So
Yeah,
how's everything? It's good. Yeah,
yeah.
we're gonna also talk about answering.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, another really good one is to say, "How's life?"
Oh, how's life?
Yeah,
How's life?
yeah. And if you want to add a little bit to it, you could say, "How's life treating you?"
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's
How's life treating you? Treating
yes.
you?
Yeah, but how's life is pretty good. Especially if someone has moved or they have a new circumstance, you might say, "Hey, you're now in another state. Well, how's life? How's life in North Dakota?"
Okay, that's good. And then also the other one is things. How are things? But is then if you want to simplify that, you'd say how are things or how are things?
Well, I wouldn't say that. Maybe some people would, but it's how are things? How are things?
How are things? It's really the contraction of how are
Yeah.
things. But and then you just put together how are things? How are things? How are things?
Yes. But definitely saying what's happening is a good thing to say, and that would be very common. Hey, what's happening?
Yeah, so now this was like informal ways, right? To
Informal,
actually
yes.
ask how are you in English. Now, let's talk a little bit about formal ways
Hmm.
to ask how are you in English.
Sure. Yep. So formally, these would be longer expressions like, "How are you doing today?"
Oh, so pretty much you have to say all this sentence. How are you doing
Yes,
today?
you're going to articulate all the individual words that are part of that sentence.
How are you doing today? Yeah.
Yeah, and then if you're formal with the question, you're more likely to get a more formal reply, but we'll get to that.
Okay. And then also, how have you been?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. How
How
have you
have you
been?
been?
Yes. And then you could say, well, I hope you're doing well, but you're going to say that with like a question, that question mark. Then it's more like you're finding out from them instead of just saying, I hope you're doing well. It's, I hope you're doing well, more like that.
All right. So, and then also, how's everything on your end? How's everything on your end? So if you are, but we would use this for close friends, right? More or
Yeah,
less,
yeah,
because it's not something that you would just meet a person and then say, "Oh, how's
yeah,
everything on your end?"
yeah. Because if you did it that way, they would think that you're
Crossing
trying, you're crossing like a line,
the line. Yeah.
So some of these formal ways really are more based on like circumstances and how well you know someone. Like if you said, "How are you feeling today?" you really wouldn't ask that unless you knew them to be, getting over a cold or, something about their personal circumstances. If they've been doing some kind of medical treatment, then you might say, how are you feeling?
Oh yeah, yeah, I would, yeah, totally agree with that. And then how about how are things with you? How are things with you?
That one is common for a formal expression. I think that would be okay.
Okay, and how about like I trust you're doing well.
That
It's
is
just so
that
much
is
to
that
formal.
is a little bit too formal. That is really maybe amongst aristocrats or someone, that is not a part of typical conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is what you'd find just like mostly in books then, because
Mhm.
yeah, people would say, I trust you're doing well.
Yeah, you wouldn't hear that much.
Yeah, so no,
Now
just
the
forget about
now the
that.
next idea I think is really interesting because how do you do would have been the most common thing that people said in the United States for a long time. So, for at least 100 years, all the way up to maybe the 1950s or 60s. If you look at any old movies from the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, you're going to see all the characters when they meet people, they always say, "How do you do?" That was the most common expression of it was a combination of "How are you?" and "Nice to meet you" at the same time.
Oh,
So
so
it sort
how
of
do we do?
yeah, so it kind of combined those two into one handy expression. How do you do?
Do you think nowadays people still use that? How do you do?
Well, if you met an elderly person, maybe someone who's 75 or 80, they could say it. But basically, the people that say it are sort of like dying off, so it's not. Now, for fun, you could say it. I think, you know, people would probably understand you because they would have seen it in movies, but it's not going to be very common.
And how about this one? Are you well? It sounds awkward.
Yeah, I think that's awkward because then the implication is that the person sees something unwell with them. So
Yeah.
if someone had a big wound on their arm or something like that, or they were collapsing, you might say, "Are you well?" But under normal circumstances, I don't think that you'd say that to someone.
Okay, so is everything all right?
Um, well, that kind of depends upon the context. So it may have seemed like a medical thing, but if it's just asking about maybe how someone's doing with a new job or a new family or moving, you say, "Hey, is everything all right? Is everything okay?" I think "is everything okay" might be a little bit more
Better.
common because it's more casual.
Yeah, so pretty much those that we said we showed you guys that or informal are more, of course, common to hear from native and non-native English speakers.
That's right.
Yeah, and you can add some of your from your own language, translating to how, for example, I love to say hard things because in Portuguese, if I see my friends, for example, I would say that in Portuguese as well. So I would say, oh, como estão as coisas? But I like that a lot in Portuguese and in English. So
Sure.
I would
Yeah.
use more in English. So now let's talk about how to answer. So we
Sure.
talked a lot about how to ask how are you in English, all the ways to use it. So now to many other ways to answer how are you in English.
Yes,
Formal
that's right.
and informal.
So informally, many of the informal expressions that we just said, you could answer in any sort of way. So if people chose one of those informal ways, you could answer it 5 or 6 different ways. You might say, "I'm good, thanks," or here's one that I use a lot: "Not bad." Not bad.
Not bad. Yeah.
Not bad is really a key answer that you're going to hear every single day.
So how about when a person, for example, say, how are you? Or just use how are you. I use more how are you actually, or how things. And then you say, oh, so far so good. How about that? So far so good.
So far so good is I was about to say is not bad, so I'm using the same expression. So far so good is okay. I think just purely to how are you, I think pretty good, I'm good, not bad, can't complain.
Oh,
We have
can't
that. Yeah,
complain.
those would be your typical short answers. That you might say informal. I'm okay, I'm all right.
Same old. I like that one. Same old.
Yeah, same old is a good one. That's So it's basically meaning it's I'm as I normally am. It's the same old situation.
So pretty much you have to say twice, like same old, right?
Yes, that's right. You have to say it twice.
I like that too. And how about hanging there?
Hanging in there is really good. I use that one. Hanging in there.
I have heard a lot of people say, I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in
Yeah.
there. Doing great, actually, doing great.
Yeah, you could, but doing great can come across as a little phony
Oh,
in some
really?
circumstances. Yeah, so I think people have to be careful when they answer the question if it seems over the top, or like you wouldn't say, if someone said, "Hey, how's it going?" And the person wouldn't say, "Oh, I'm absolutely fabulous. You know, things are absolutely incredible." See, that seems over the top and exaggerated. So it's not so great to do an exaggerated answer unless you just won the lottery or something, then you could say things are fabulous.
Okay. But I heard a lot of people saying just, oh, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm fine. It's good. Yeah.
Yeah. And what else? So let me see over here.
You got the formal ways. You want
Well, yeah, the formal one. I think we started. I'm very well.
Yes, I'm doing
Thanks.
well. I'm very well. I'm well, and you?
I really like I'm fine, thanks. How about you?
Yeah, that's good.
That's the
Yeah,
one that I use a lot. So, oh, I'm fine, thanks. How about you? But
yeah,
that doesn't mean that I want to hear actually from the person. Pretty much, and I
yeah,
want just, yeah, to say I'm fine, thanks for asking, but I have other things to do.
yeah.
Especially here in the United States, time's money.
Yeah, time is money, and really, when someone's asking you how are you, if they're a stranger, you're not really expected to say anything except I'm good or I'm fine, because do they really want to know everything about what's going on with you? I mean, that's more of someone you know well or a friend, that wants you to open up, but it's just a polite expression, and in most cases, you just do a polite answer. Well, you probably would want to say something if someone said, "How's it going?" or "How are you?" At minimum, you would say something like, "I'm fine, I'm good." So I think you probably need to say one or two words at a minimum.
All right. I think we covered a lot. So if you know another way to say how are you in English or to answer the question, let us know in the comments below, and we will be happy to read all of them. And I think that's it for today, right? I think we covered a lot, and I hope you guys got something from this video. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate. Send to us, right? On our social media. We are everywhere as Fielding English, and we will come back here with our Fielding Learning podcast, okay? If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do it now. We'll be happy to have you guys over here. Do you want to say something also? And thank you for subscribing. We reached more than 50,000 people, 50,000 subscribers on this channel. We are so
Yes, we're really
happy.
honored. Big shout out and thank you to all of the supporters. We've reached some great milestones recently, 50,000 supporters. So please keep coming back to all the channels, YouTube channel, podcasts, Instagram, TikTok, Podbean. They're all there for you to learn English, communicate, and learn cultural differences.
Yes, guys. So that's it for today. And remember, it's about immersion, not perfection. Bye, guys. See you next time.